So my name's Imogen Ward and I'm the Dairy Technical Officer for the South East of Wales and Carmarthenshire, and we're here today at Goldsland Farm in Wennevo, where we've been doing the Antibiotics Awareness Project.
I'm Abby Reader, I'm a dairy farmer in Glamorgan. We're farming approximately 750 acres and we're milking about 200 cows here on the farm, and we've got about 200 head of young stock as well. The Antibiotic Focus project, I think, is something really important for us as farmers to try and get our heads around. It's important that we share responsibility for the health of our herd and of people in the nation, and really just to try and be a little bit more conscious about why we are treating animals the way we do.
So I was contacted by Farming Connect and Abby, very interested in benchmarking antibiotic use, with one eye on the dairy sector targets for antibiotic use by 2020, and also Farming Connect were very interested in looking at a group of dairy farms in South Wales, looking at their antibiotic use, and then maybe looking at one or two of them in more detail. Abby was particularly interested to put herself forward. And then once we benchmarked some antibiotic use data, then to look in more detail at what was driving that antibiotic use. For Abby, particularly focusing on things like clinical mastitis in the dairy herds and calf pneumonia with the young stock.
To be able to have some external veterinary advice from James Breen via Farming Connect, to come out on the farm and just help me take 5 minutes to sit down and look at what our problems might be, where issues may lie and what to focus on, has been absolutely integral to helping us reduce our antibiotic usage. Well, when we first started looking at this in 2017, our antibiotic usage was approximately 16.6 milligrams per kilogram, and we have just done the latest stats now for 18-19, and we have reduced that by just about half to 8.1 milligrams per kilogram. A lot of that reduction is to do with investment in facilities, so we have the luxury of some new cattle housing, and we've got some new tracks on the farm, but equally it's all down to making sure that we're on top of our data. So it's been very useful to get some guidance on how to manage our data, how to look at it, how to use it, how to understand what messages it's telling us in terms of usage. And obviously we've had our farm vet engage with us from day one. So because she's been aware of what we're trying to do, that communication has improved a lot between us, and there's a lot more dialogue in terms of, we have this cow, she may have a problem, what do you think I need to do? And it's just that dialogue. So yeah, it's a number of things that have all come together to help us get where we are.
Okay, Abby, so what I just wanted to do is have a few minutes to go over the information. So, of course, as I'm sure you remember, this time last year we sat down and the mastitis rate was about 49 cases per 100 cows per year. You know, when we went through the diary, we had a look at the pattern, and it was very much a summer-autumn pattern, wasn't it? A lot of new cases in cows, more than 30 days in milk, real environmental seasonal pattern. We've made a tool around this as it happens actually with AHDB, so there's a pattern analysis tool, environmental lactation, very seasonal, and we had to think about perhaps what we could do. And if you remember, I said it'd be really nice to start moving groups of cows around in the paddocks. It was quite interesting because you look at the rate of new cases then in the following summer through 2018 compared to the summer before. So this is the rate at which they're getting new cases. And then that's really nice for the antibiotic use, isn't it? Less new cases, you don't need to treat, you know. But if they do turn up, you know, you still treat them.
We do.
So then 12 months later, the mastitis rate now, you know, we need to get out of the diary, don't we, the May and June figures, but if you take it up to the end of April, you're at 26 cases per 100 cows per year, and a lot of that has been driven by less new cases in cows more than 30 days calves. It's fantastic, really good. I thought you might like to see, I've played around a little bit with some costs. Right. As well as the antibiotic use. So if you do some costs around this, because I know as farmers you get hit with all sorts of figures around what it may or may not cost you, but if you do some sums with your milk price and your feed cost and that sort of thing, maybe around 400 quid a case. But I had a look year on year, so when we sat down this time last year and we totaled up the number of cases you'd had, and now we've sat down just now and we've looked at the number of cases you've had, there's about 38 cases difference between the one year and the next. So 38 times 400 and that's a conservative estimate because that's not building in cell count particularly. You know, that's just looking at clinical mastitis outcomes. it's about 15,000. And of course that you could then argue that's year on year, you know, because if it hadn't have changed, you would have stayed at the sort of level, you know, you were at. But quite nice to reflect on that sometimes, and then all that effort you've put in,
Yeah.
you know, is
Well, this has been a conscious effort to use the information that you have given me to make a difference on farm, and to see it there is brilliant.